Title: The Quiet Power of Saying No. How I Escaped Debt Culture. I used to say yes to everything. Living in Manchester with a decent job in marketing, I thought I had made it. Rooftop drinks after work? Yes. Bottomless brunch on Saturday? Obviously. A birthday trip to Barcelona even though I couldn't afford toothpaste by mid-month? Of course. I didn't even pause. If my friends were doing it, so was I. It wasn't just big things either. I said yes to splitting bills evenly at dinner, even when I'd ordered the side salad and a tap water while someone else devoured a ribeye and 3 cocktails. I said yes to multiple streaming platforms, food delivery apps, gym memberships I didn't use, and even a wine subscription. I couldn't tell you why I didn't even drink wine, but it came with a welcome gift. And I said yes. Saying yes was my armor, my way of keeping up appearances, my ticket to feeling included. After all, I was a young professional now. This is what success looked like, right? Busy, buzzing, stylish. I wore fitted jackets, owned a half-dozen watches I never set, and posted photos of brunch like it was a second job. Behind the filters, though, I was struggling. My bank app was always blinking red. I rotated credit cards like some kind of financial magician, shifting debt from one place to another, hoping the numbers wouldn't catch up. My wardrobe grew fuller while my stomach got emptier. I said yes to everything and no to nothing, especially myself. And weirdly enough, people praised me for it. "You're always down for a good time," they'd say. "You're so chill." Chill? I was sweating through my overdraft and mentally calculating if I could skip council tax this month without getting a letter. But I smiled anyway, swiped my card, and said yes again. Looking back, I realized I didn't even know what I wanted. I only knew what other people expected, and I was afraid that saying no would make me invisible. My self-worth had become tangled in social invites and digital receipts. The less I could afford something, the more I convinced myself I needed it. I called it networking or treating myself or living while I'm young, but really I was just avoiding silence, because silence meant I had to listen. And if I listened, I'd have to admit the truth. I had a wardrobe full of clothes and an account full of overdrafts. It was another group chat friend-zyping after ping with excitement. "Let's do a weekend in Lisbon," someone suggested. "Flights are only $89. Followed by links to a boutique hotel, bottomless brunch spots, and boat tour bookings. I stared at my phone, heart pounding. I was already £200 in credit card debt. My Klarna balance was creeping past £600. A pair of trainers I couldn't afford still hadn't been paid off. But I typed "count me in" like I had money to spare, because I didn't want to be that guy. The broke one, the buzzkill, the one who couldn't live a little. So I went. I smiled through overpriced tapas. I posed for Instagram on the rooftop bar. I bought a linen shirt I didn't need just to look the part. Every tap of my card felt like pretending a little harder. I convinced myself it was an investment in memories, in belonging. Then Monday came. I popped into the corner shop on the way home to buy some bread and eggs. The total came to 5.2. I tapped my card, declined, tried again, declined. I pulled out another card, declined. I left the basket and walked out with a burning face and an empty wallet. Later that day, I sat alone on a park bench under grey Manchester skies. I pulled out my phone and opened every debt app, every credit card account, $200 on the main card, $800 on the backup, $600 on Klarna, £900 across buy now, pay later services, plus £600 in overdraft. Over £4,000 in debt. For what? Brunches, outfits, weekend trips I barely remembered, and a social image I couldn't afford to maintain. The wind was cold, my stomach rumbled, my balance showed 6.8. For the first time, I said it out loud. I can't keep doing this. It didn't feel dramatic. It felt honest. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't irresponsible. I was just caught in a game I never agreed to play, but kept playing so no one would know I was struggling. I sat there for a long time, watching people pass with their coffee cups and puffer jackets, and wondered how many others felt the same. How many yes men and women were silently sinking in a sea of overdrafts. Something had to change, and maybe just maybe that change had to start with a 2-letter word. No. The first no felt like swallowing a stone. My friends were planning another group dinner, one of those trendy places where the food portions were tiny and the bills enormous. Normally, I'd have said yes out of habit, nodded along, and later prayed my card would go through. But this time, I paused. "I'm going to sit this one out," I typed in the group chat. "Trying to save this month." The replies came in fast. "Mr. Responsible over here." "You? Turning down Wagyu tacos?" "Don't be boring, mate." I stared at my phone. My heart thumped like I'd just confessed a crime. But I didn't backtrack. I just put the phone down. That one no set something off in me. The next day, I opened my banking app and stared at the chaos I'd been ignoring. Subscriptions I didn't remember signing up for. Food delivery fees that had added up to triple what I'd budgeted. I cancelled half of them right then, streaming platforms, fitness apps, even a wine box subscription I hadn't touched in months. It felt oddly good. Then came the small decisions. I started saying no to online impulse buys, those late-night dopamine hits of add to cart. I unsubscribed from every marketing email I could find. I even returned a jacket I'd bought to impress someone I didn't even like. I said no to splitting bills unfairly too. No more evenly dividing the cost when all I had was tap water and a side salad. I'll just pay for what I had, I'd say now softly, but firmly. The resistance from others was real at first. Some friends teased. A few rolled their eyes, but over time, the noise faded. I opened a spreadsheet and titled it Freedom Plan. I listed every debt from credit cards to Klarna to sneaky buy now pay later plans. I tracked every pound that came in and every pound that left. I gave myself a simple goal: live beneath my means for once. It wasn't glamorous. I stopped ordering takeout. I brewed my own coffee. I sold a few designer shoes online that I'd only worn once. I walked to work instead of taking the bus. These were not the stories you post on Instagram, but they were the moments that made me proud. Each no felt a little easier than the last. I started seeing my balance grow slowly at first. £50, then £200, then enough to cover a full week of groceries without fear. I was still in debt, but now I was in control. One night, as I sat in my flat eating pasta with tinned sauce and garlic from a jar, I realized something. This wasn't just about money, it was about permission. For the first time, I was giving myself permission to set boundaries, to be boring, to prioritize peace over performance. The power of no was never about what I turned down, it was about what I was finally choosing to build. And for the first time in ages, I wasn't just surviving, I was starting to breathe. Saying no wasn't easy. The first time I skipped dinner with my friends, I sat on the sofa scrolling through their Instagram stories, pretending I didn't care. But I did. The FOMO was real. I felt like I was slowly removing myself from my own life. Sometimes, I questioned it. Was I just being stingy? Was I missing out on memories I'd regret later? But every time I opened my budget spreadsheet and saw my debt going down, I reminded myself why I started. Saying no wasn't selfish, it was survival. Still, the quiet was hard. My weekends changed. No more online shopping just because. No more overpriced lattes or last-minute train trips. I took walks instead. Listened to podcasts. Watched the ducks in the canal. I started noticing things like how calm I felt when I wasn't rushing or checking my bank app in fear. I bought a used coffee machine for £25. It rattled like a train but made decent espresso. I started hosting small coffee meetups at Mind Cheap, calm and real. One day, a friend came over, took a sip, and said, "Honestly, I envy your control. I've been thinking of cutting back too." That moment stuck with me. All this time, I thought I'd be seen as boring or broke, but someone saw it as brave. And then I got it. Saying no wasn't rejection, it was protection. Protection from overdrafts, from fake smiles, from living for the feed instead of my future. I wasn't cutting people off, I was cutting debt, stress, and guilt. And slowly, I started feeling proud. I paid off one credit card, then another. My balance moved from red to black. Even managed to save £50 by the end of the month. I still missed some group events, but I didn't miss the anxiety. This quieter life, it was mine. A year later, things look different. The debt that once hovered like a storm cloud is nearly gone. My spreadsheet, once filled with red numbers and question marks, now shows steady green. The credit cards? Paid down. Klarna? Closed. The overdrafts? History. But the biggest shift isn't in my bank balance, it's in my mind. I no longer say yes just to belong. I don't feel the need to prove my worth through dinners I can't afford or gadgets I don't need. I've learned the difference between being included and being aligned. These days, I spend with purpose. I still enjoy brunch, but I budget for it. I unsubscribed from 5 streaming platforms and I haven't missed a single show. My wardrobe? Smaller, but finally mine. No more outfits bought for nights I didn't want to attend. I've also made new habits. Saving, cooking, hosting slow, simple evenings with friends who bring more laughter than pressure. A few old friendships faded, but the ones that remained? They're stronger now, built on honesty, not appearances. The truth is, I thought I needed to be part of everything to feel successful. But saying no gave me space to breathe, to reflect, to choose differently. And in that space, I found something better than approval. I found peace. Saying no to others gave me the power to say yes to myself. Learning to say no saved me not just financially, but emotionally. I used to think turning things down meant missing out. But really, I was missing out on peace, clarity, and control. Saying yes to every brunch, trip, and trendy purchase didn't make me happy, it made me broke and anxious. The truth is, debt can wear a smile and come with a selfie captioned, "Living my best life." But underneath that, many of us are silently drowning in obligations we never needed. When I started saying no, I began saying yes to breathing room, sleep, and genuine joy. I realized I didn't need to keep up. I needed to slow down. The freedom came, not in earning more, but in spending with intention. Now, I don't just track pounds, I track peace. If this story hits home for you, subscribe for more. For real stories about growth, resilience, and reclaiming your life from the pressure to perform. Follow for more. Join a community learning how to live better, not just louder. Weekly stories, insights, and reminders that it's okay to choose yourself. Let's rewrite what success really looks like together.